resolving disputes, establishing peace, strengthening Africa's presence in the global scene, getting a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, and ensuring the reform of the worldwide peace architecture are all key decisions made by heads of state and governments as the 37th Assembly of the Union concludes.
The Africa that we all want, the Africa of peace, stability, human rights, good governance and sustainable development, an Africa that takes hold of its own destiny in a strong dynamic on the international scene, is not only a choice amongst other choices, but it is an existential necessity. We don't have any other choice.
In Guinea, Sudan, Gabon, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, coup d'etats have resulted in unconstitutional changes of governments. The African Union in return has banned these nations from any participation in its activities. The summit vowed to end the era of coups in Africa.
Unconstitutional changes of government have multiplied in total defiance of the entire political and legal order that had founded our organization. Never since the establishment of the African Union has such a number of transitions following unconstitutional change of government has been seen in Africa. Our failure to counter such a phenomenon is obvious.
This year's summit was themed Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, building resilient education systems for increased access to inclusive, lifelong, quality and relevant learning in Africa. In its conclusion, the Assembly noted the critical need for the advancement of developmental activities in Africa.
We need to find solutions to our own problems and the multiple challenges our countries are facing, and this is through joint action through our organization and our union.
Unkept promises from the developed world of the provision of climate finance, an ever-growing debt burden, insurgency and unresolved conflicts are all challenges the African continent continues to face even over the coming years. The just concluded summit adopted a decision which advised member states to follow a holistic approach for a collective triumph in every sector. According to reports from the African Union Commission Chairperson, over the past few years alone, over 90% of decisions made by leaders of the continent were not implemented entirely. According to analysts, this has resulted in the continuation of insecurity and hampered developmental activities, including trade and free movement of people among African states.